What's going on, guys? And today I'm going to be teaching you my top 3 favorite card changes. Let's get into it. Now the first change is known as the Paintbrush Change. And let me just show you one more time what it looks like. We have card here. We're just gonna brush it against the deck just like that, and we'll see that it changes. And this is a really easy thing to do, something you can get down immediately. And let me just tell you how it's done. So we're gonna pick up 2 cards, 1, 2, and of course we're gonna show them as one card. I'm gonna grip this card like this in our opposite hand. We're just gonna come here and grip the card like this. I have these 3 fingers grabbing onto this card and a thumb grabbing on in front. And now all we're going to do is we're going to come over and brush this card like this. And we're going to do this a few times. And after we do it a few times, the thumb is going to come over and push forward the front card, just like that. So we're here, we're doing this, we're going to push forward the front card. And at this point, when we push it forward, you can see where it's split. It's going to come down like this, and we're just going to continue doing this. Just one thing to note, of course don't make it as obvious as me, like you're doing this and then you do this and then you do this. Just go right here and change as quickly as possible. And that is the Paintbrush Change. Now the second change is known as the Snap Change. And once again, this is how it looks like. We have a card here, and we see that it changes. Now this is a bit harder than the first change that I did, but let's just get right into it. So what I do first is I like to get the top card and I show it off to the spectator. So in this case, Ace of Diamonds. And now while I'm doing this, I get a pinky break under the top card. So to get a pinky break, I just push the top card over, put my pinky here, and pull back. So up to speed, showing off this card, and I already have the pinky break. Now I take this card, and I put it on top of the card I have a pinky break on. So now I have a pinky break under the top 2 cards. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my thumb, and I'm going to put it on the bottom right-hand corner of this card. And I'm going to take my ring finger and put it on the top left-hand corner. Now, there are multiple ways to do the snap change, but this is my own personal way that I like to do it. There are a bunch of videos that teach it other ways, but this is my own adaptation. So this is the way I'm going to be teaching it. So I'm going to come here, thumb, and ring finger. Okay? And once we're here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other thumb, and I'm going to put it on the same edge as my other thumb is, and I'm going to take my middle finger and I'm going to put it on the same edge as my ring finger. So ring finger, middle finger, and the 2 thumbs here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over and I'm going to pull down with these 2 fingers, creating this, I guess, curve or bump, you can call it. But pretty much creating some pressure here. So when I let go with these fingers, or I pull down with my left hand, the cards are going to flip over. And the way to do this is, of course, you're pulling down here. When you pull down, we're going to release with our thumb first and keep the middle finger still there. So coming down here, release with thumb. And right now I'm not doing it at full speed. It's only, flipping over this much. But just if you can flip it over that much, you'll know that you're heading in the right direction. So coming here, doing this, and just like that. So one more time, full speed, come here. Alright, so that time it flipped twice. And let me tell you the reason why that happened. One thing to keep in mind is when you're doing this, keep your pointer finger right here. So after the card is flipped, you want to move your pointer finger down to keep it from, doing another turn. So that's all there is to it. So one more time going through it, take this, get a break, flip it over, put it on top, bottom right hand, top left hand, pull down on both of these, and when you pull down, just pull down fast, and you'll see it changes beautifully. And what I like to do is once the change is done, I like to throw these cards back on top of the deck. So if the spectator wants to inspect this card, you can always just peel it off and give it to them. Versus if you're doing it, without the deck, you're just going to be having this, and then the spectator takes the card like, oh, it's 2 cards. So that is the snap change. Now this is probably one of my favorite card changes, and it's known as the Cardini Change. So just to show you one more time what it looks like, we flip over this card, 9 of diamonds, we come here, give it a flick, and it turns into the 6 of diamonds. Now, the way to do this, we come over, do a double lift, and we're gonna take, do the double lift and flip it over like this. So now we have, the card we're showing and the card we're gonna turn into. Now we come here. What I like to do is I like to take the top card and put a break in between the top card and the second card. So I just come over and do this. So what this allows me to do is when I'm doing the change, it'll be a lot easier. So I come here, do this. And so the move is pretty much pulling this card back using these 3 fingers. So this is the basic move. Just like that. So uncovered, this is what it would look like. So without this right hand, you pretty much see what's going on. So covered, it looks pretty good. And we end up in this position. Now just real quick, getting into the grip, we have this here. We have the thumb on, this side of the deck like this, have a break. And we have pointer finger, I just keep here. And pinky, ring finger, and middle finger, I keep on the right hand side of the deck. So now when we're doing this, we're going to come over, and I like to do this flick on the corner because it just draws attention away from the move, and it just makes it, a bit more complete. So here, and we see it change. And of course, the faster the change, the better. Once you get really good at it, you just, do a nice cleanup and everything. So one more time, we do a double lift. We get the break, and then we flick and pull at the same time. And now once we're in this position, the best way to clean up is to pick this deck up with this hand, turn it, and just turn it so it's even with this card. So from this angle, this is what it looks like. Let me just do the change one more time. So we are here, do this, and keep in mind this is very angle sensitive, so you want to be around this area here or here, right? So just practice this in front of a mirror and you'll get it down within hopefully a few hours of practicing. So once again, we're here, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take this deck and turn it to align it with this card. Okay, so one more time, we are here, we do the change, and now we're just going to align the deck like this. And what I like to do is after I align it, let me just get into the position real quick. After I align it, I like to turn the deck like this. This way the spectator's not thinking, this guy just did this and did this. That seems very weird. So once again, the whole thing, double lift, break here, these fingers here, flick while pulling back, and then just turn this deck like this so we have it all cleaned up, and we're just left with that one card. And that is the Cardini Change. So those are my top 3 go-to card changes. And remember to keep on practicing. The first one is the easiest, so it should take no more than a few minutes to get down. Second one might take a bit more time, and the last one could take a couple hours. I know for me, since that was one of the first card changes I learned, which was not a good idea. So because it was the first card change I learned, it took me weeks to get down because, you know, I did it for a bit and then I'm just like, this is not working out. And then I stopped, and I continued like 2 months later again. So as long as you're consistent in doing these techniques, you'll get it down much faster than I did. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next video. One more take.